In this video, I'm going to share with you some of the very best and most profitable marketing strategies working right now. These are the exact strategies we're using in our agencies and in our programs to help our clients and our students generate more leads, more customers, more sales, more revenue, and grow any business they apply them to. And these strategies are working with businesses from hundreds of different markets and industries, so the odds are good that they're going to work for you too. And the best part is, everything I'm going to be sharing with you here today can be put to use immediately, no matter what stage you're at or what level you want to grow to. So let's dive right in, starting with marketing strategy number 1, a little something I'm calling automated omnipresence. All right. First things first, the name automated omnipresence makes this strategy sound way more complicated than it actually is, but it was the most accurate name that I could come up with, as the strategy truly is both automated, meaning that we're going to use software and systems to do most of the heavy lifting for us, and it creates omnipresence, which allows us to appear like we're everywhere all at once. I'll show you exactly how to make this work for you and give you the exact step-by-step system to use, but first it's important to know why you even need to bother with this whole omnipresent thing in the first place. And to explain that, we're going to turn to some slightly overwhelming but incredibly valuable findings presented by our good old friends at Google in a study called the 7-11-4 rule. So here's what they found. Google, with their access to billions of data points on consumer behavior, found that before a customer will buy, they typically need around 7 hours of engagement or interaction across 11 touch points in 4 separate locations. Now, if you're brand new to marketing or you've never made content before, then I fully appreciate that these numbers might look and sound and feel a little bit overwhelming. And while I'm not denying that there is work to be done here, there are also things that you can do in order to help automate much of this process to significantly cut down on your workload while still reaping all of the money-making benefits that come along from adopting this attitude of trying to show up in front of your current and potential customers more often in more places. The first thing you want to do here is get crystal clear on the basics, the fundamentals, those proven marketing principles that have stood the test of time and are just as relevant today as they were 100 years ago. I'm talking about things like properly identifying your ideal customers and target market, then going deep into figuring out exactly what their biggest problems are and how you and your business are uniquely positioned to solve them. Then, once that's done, identifying the 1, 2, maybe 3 places that your target market spends the most time online and focusing there, ignoring pretty much everything else. Let me just quickly walk you through an example of how to put together an automated omnipresence strategy of your very own now. First, you're gonna need some kind of content, ideally something with a little bit of meat and some substance to it, like a long-form blog post, a YouTube video, a webinar, a recording of a presentation you gave. Any of those could work. Then, you wanna go through that content and splice and dice it into a few smaller segments that you're gonna use later. So for example, if you've got a 1,000-word blog post, you could carve out anywhere from 3 to 5 shorter pieces from it. These shorter posts could then be scheduled to be posted automatically on whichever social media platforms your market is most engaged on, usually Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, or some combination of those. From there, you simply wash, rinse, and repeat that same process every week. Which, unsurprisingly, is exactly what we do. Starting with a long-form YouTube video, just like this one, extracting the audio for a podcast, transcribing the video to create a blog post, and then splicing and dicing that up even more to create reels and shorts and posts and carousels, the whole 9 yards. Once you have this system in place, the only real time requirement is creating that one initial piece of content, which, with a bit of practice, you should be able to get down to just 1 to 2 hours a week. From there, automated posting tools and maybe a few ads if you want can help multiply that content and get it in front of even more people. More people than you probably ever thought possible. Of course, all those touch points aren't going to do you any good if you don't also have this next piece of the puzzle in place in order to capitalize on it. So let me walk you through that now. I want to show you 2 different websites for a fictional roofing company, and I want you to guess which one is more likely to convert visitors into customers and actually make sales. Now, you can pause if you like to really take a closer look, but the fact is that option 1 is going to win all day, every day. And it's not because of the colors or the images or the designs or anything like that. The reason it's going to win has to do with the clarity of the messaging on the page and the clear and obvious next steps that we want someone to take. In option 1, there's a clear call to action, a CTA, and a phone number, which, bit of a side note here, but home services typically generate the most leads through a call. In option 2, however, there's no clear call to action. I intentionally kept the messaging vague, and as bad as I tried to make it, I've actually seen worse. Oh, real quick side note here. Please do not call me for roofing services because you will not be happy with my roofing skills. Oh yeah, that's leaking. Now, I'm using a website as an example here, but the point is that no matter where a potential customer comes across your business, whether it's your website, your social media accounts, or some random piece of content that they find online, you want to make it clear exactly who you help, how you help them, and what action they should take next. If you're missing any of those 3 important ingredients, then you're losing sales, guaranteed. But there's something else you can do too here that will only further help you increase your conversions, and it's quickly becoming one of my all-time favorite marketing tactics, as it's working extremely well for pretty much every single business that we're introducing it to. I call it the robot marketer. I want you to imagine for a second having a marketing assistant that never sleeps, always knows the right thing to say, and can handle multiple channels and conversations with customers all at once. I'm talking about an assistant that's able to respond to customers instantly on channels like Facebook and Instagram and SMS, and maybe even from a chat widget on your website. Kinda sounds like magic, doesn't it? Well, my friend, that power is now available to you as a business owner, a marketer, or an agency. So, say hello to my little friend. Robot marketer, more commonly known as conversational AI, a super smart technology that makes customer interactions smoother, more accurate, and incredibly efficient. So here's how it works. Conversational AI boosts customer service by being available 24/7, giving instant and consistent responses. Also automates repetitive tasks like answering FAQs and booking appointments, which frees you and your team up for more important, more complex issues. And, like I already mentioned, it works across multiple channels, including SMS, Facebook, Instagram, and web chat. So you're able to engage your customers wherever they are, which, as you remember, is one of the key points of increasing touch points and conversions and sales. Where things get really cool though is not only does this robot marketer handle interactions seamlessly, but it also personalizes responses based on past conversations. So it comes across as more natural, more helpful, and less robot sounding. Now, the software I use to do this is called High Level, and I'll make sure to put a link down in the descriptions below that's going to get you access to an extended free trial and free strategy call and free courses and training and all of that stuff. But for now, let's dive in and let me show you exactly how this works. All right, so here we are inside of my High Level dashboard, and I've got Conversation AI all loaded up, and the way that it works is actually pretty cool. Essentially, all you really need to do is set up a few simple things and choosing how you want it to respond, what platforms you want it, so SMS, Instagram, Facebook, a chat widget, and live chat. You can see that the trial, the ability to actually go out there and test your bot, is all set. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. And then of course, some simple settings of like your business name and how long you want it to respond and so on. But where things get really interesting, and I think where the real value of this lies, is in the training of the bot. Because it's one thing to have to go out there and like hard code a bot and teach it everything about your business and make it know everything that it would possibly need to know, which sounds like a completely ridiculous and overwhelming task. The beauty here is with bot training, all we have to do is put in your business website and or create a Google Doc or a Word doc or something like that, upload it to the actual bot. It's going to go through, it's going to comb through all of the information, and it's going to use that in order to help come up with better and more specific and more relevant responses. But it gets even better, because let's say that there's just some random obscure questions that come in. For example, I put one in here. What does Adam think about solar eclipses? And I decided to answer, he thinks they're pretty cool. So because I inputted this myself, now when someone comes over here and we'll run a sample trial for our bot in order to see what this would look like. So now I can come in here and we'll check that by asking, what does Adam think about solar eclipses? We'll hit enter. We'll let the bot do its thing, and hey, look at that. Adam thinks they're pretty cool. And fun fact, I do think they're pretty cool. Now, of course, the functionality of this goes way beyond answering simple questions about your weird hobbies or things that you might enjoy doing. It has real practical business applications here by allowing this bot, this automation, this conversation AI to go out there and answer questions for customers, provide near instant feedback, as well as guide them further down the funnel, which is going to free up a ton of time for you and just allow you to make a whole lot more sales, a whole lot easier, and a whole lot quicker. Okay, next up on our list is something that I know you've heard before, but we gotta go there, because if you're determined to make this your best year in business yet, then we simply can't afford to ignore this incredibly powerful and profitable strategy. I am, of course, talking about video marketing, but video marketing in a very specific way. So let me show you what that looks like. Sometimes I feel like talking about video marketing is a bit of a cop-out when it comes to giving you the very best and most practical, cutting-edge marketing strategies that I possibly can. I mean, it's one of those things that has just proven itself time and time again and is so obviously beneficial to help you grow any business that it almost doesn't need to be said. But as you and I both know, common sense isn't always common practice, and knowing that you should do something is often completely different than going out there and actually doing it. That's why it's my hope here that we can finally break down this barrier to entry, this obstacle of having to create video content, by sharing with you some strategies that are working really well right now that I think you're really gonna like. So on that note, I've got some good news for you. You don't need to dance on TikTok. You don't need to use trending audio on Instagram. And you don't need to create Hollywood-level productions for a YouTube video. I mean, you can if you want, but it's not necessary. Despite what you may have heard about how people are producing more video content than ever before, and how there's something like 500 hours of new video content being uploaded to YouTube every single minute, the simple fact remains that most of this content that's being uploaded isn't for you. It's not for me either. And it's not for your customers, your clients, or your audience. I mean, some of it is, but not much. It's still a shockingly wide open blue ocean opportunity right now, especially if you show up to the table with something to say and the mindset of creating as much value as you can. The key to success is to focus on what matters, which is your audience, their wants, their needs, their dreams, their desires. Video can be a powerful tool to grow pretty much any business, but you need to make sure that the focus remains on your audience and the message that you're delivering to them, rather than just on the video production quality. Okay, next up is another incredibly powerful way to continue showing up in front of more people, in more places, more often, using a continuing growing trend and strategy in the marketing world, which is podcasting. The good news is, if you want to start a podcast, all you need is a microphone, and you can get a decent one for anywhere from $50 to $100. You need something to record your podcast with, but you can use Zoom, which is free. And then you need somewhere to host and publish your podcast. Fortunately, services here start at around $5 a month. And just like that, congratulations! You, my friend, now have a podcast. And starting a podcast is even easier if you're already creating some kind of video content, especially longer form video content, like say a YouTube video or a webinar, some kind of presentation, as all you really need to do here is just strip away the audio and upload that as a podcast episode. Now, obviously, the better you make your podcast, the better it's going to do for your business, but the point here is that it's really easy to get started, and it gives you a powerful platform and access to over 500 million podcast listeners from all over the world. Plus, podcast listenership is up, with 47% of people in the US having listened to a podcast in the last month and 34% having listened in the last week. And the average listener spends a whopping 7 hours per week glued to their favorite podcast app, which, if you do the math here, gets you literally all 7 of the hours that Google says are necessary for someone to make a purchase decision. And if you're looking for ideas or inspiration, or just want to see what this might look like, then you're more than welcome to check out my podcast just by searching Modern Marketing Podcast in whatever your favorite podcast app is, and you should be able to see it. Of course, now that we've talked about making videos and a podcast and adding some kind of automated omnipresence strategy to your marketing mix, the next question that we really need to answer then is, with only so many hours in each day, what's more important, quality or quantity? If you've ever read a blog post or listened to a podcast or watched a video on content marketing, then you've probably come across the age-old advice to publish high-quality content on a consistent basis. Quality content, consistently published, is indeed one of the biggest keys to success. But here's the kicker. Creating high-quality content on a consistent basis is the end goal, not the starting point. Quality content isn't something that just happens right out of the gate. It takes practice, engagement with your audience, and gradually building up your content creation skills. So, the advice to focus solely on creating the highest quality content you can usually backfires and causes people to give up before they even get started. They agonize over their own content and harshly judge their own creations. But let's get real for a moment. In today's hyper-competitive market, more can be better, different can be better, and better may not actually be better. Why? Because quality is subjective, and what looks terrible to you might look amazing to someone else, and probably does. The thing to understand is that quantity breeds quality. So the more you create, the better you become. Think of it like going to the gym. You don't get fit by lifting weights once a month. You get fit by showing up consistently and pushing yourself and gradually increasing your reps and weights. Well, content creation is no different. A similar thing can be said about consistency. After all, consistency isn't just about frequency, it's about consistently providing value. Your audience doesn't want just more content. They want more valuable content, which can only come by knowing your audience and diving deep into their needs and wants and pain points. Then, using these insights to solve their specific problems through the content you create. Okay, moving on to another strategy, or more of a tool really, that can further help you automate, optimize, and grow your business, and do it all in one place using an all-in-one marketing software. So here's a fun but terrifyingly overwhelming fact for you. Yay, overwhelm! Did you know that as of right now, there are over 14,106 different pieces of marketing software out there? That's right, 14,106 different pieces of marketing software, all of which claim to help you get more customers and make more sales and grow your business. And over the past 10 years, I've tried a lot of them. Hundreds, thousands even. And I can confidently tell you that while most claim to be an all-in-one tool that will handle all of your marketing needs, most fall short, like terribly short. Lucky for me, and for you, we've finally found one that actually delivers on this promise by giving you literally everything you need to generate leads and make sales and run entire marketing campaigns, either for yourself as a business owner or for other businesses as a marketing agency. Now, you've already seen this at work earlier when I introduced you to Robot Marketer and the conversational AI. But what I didn't touch on then was how you can also use this exact same software to build websites, landing pages, and funnels, and forms, and surveys, and email, and SMS marketing. There's calendars and appointment booking features. You can collect payments. You can white label it under your brand. And I mean, you can even use it to launch an entire online course or membership site. This is the software we not only use in our agencies every single day, but it's also the one we use with all of our clients and our students inside our Agency Accelerator program. Anyway, like I said before, I'll make sure to put a link down in the descriptions below for you to check out if you're interested. And I'll also link up a video right over here that's gonna give you even more of my best marketing strategies, so you can go out there and start making more money for any business you apply these to. So make sure to tap or click that now, and I'll see you in there in just a second. Or I guess I'll see you down in the descriptions. I mean, you've got some options here. All of them are good. It's really up to you to decide what you feel like clicking on. You might click on some of them, none of them, all of them. It's up to you. Anyway, I'll see you soon.